Well, it's great to be here. Thank you, everybody, for having us. So I'm Bob Book. I'm the Chief Business Officer here at Even Financial. Hopefully, everybody can see my screen. So I actually came from SoFi, where I was a lender on Even's platform, and interestingly, while we were a lender, one thing we needed was, SoFi does a lot of personal loans, and we were finding that we were declining 70% of the people that applied for personal loans, and we needed a home for those people. So Even's network ended up being the perfect place for us to not only be a lender on the platform, but to be on the other side of the marketplace and to offer and to send our leads to Even to be able to fund those loans. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Not only am I the Chief Business Officer of Even Financial, I'm a customer. If everybody remembers those hair club commercials, probably not. Let me start with showing a little bit of just data here on the reaction to COVID. So you can kind of see in March here, things sort of drop off a cliff, but if you actually notice, there's some lenders, each of these lines is a different lender on our platform. Some of the lenders are actually increasing originations. Some of them are staying pretty steady during this time. So, I show this to say that, not every lender reacts the same way. And, I think what we've seen is that there's been sort of a flight to safety in the capital markets. So lenders that depend on capital markets to sell off their loans and get them off their balance sheets are going to be impacted much more. They're turning off the spigots. The ones that have flow through deals with banks or other ways to balance sheet these loans during this time are using it opportunistically to actually increase. And so interestingly, if you are looking for a partnership in the personal loan space, here's an example of Progressive that we actually just came across pretty recently. And I wanted to show it because it's like this big red thing that says personal loans are unavailable. It's sort of like, we've all seen on Amazon, it's like, yep, still out of stock on paper towels and toilet paper. And it's like, when you depend on a single lending partner to power your personal loans, if that partner decides, well, I can't take any more volume right now, then you're kind of screwed if you're depending on them as a partner. So we thought this was actually kind of an interesting cautionary tale. And then, we put together a little revisionist history. If anybody's watching The Plot Against America, it's like, if Germany won World War II, well, this is like if Progressive had used Even Financial, they would have had a marketplace of lenders. And so when I showed you that chart of all the lenders that are still on, this could have been an opportunity where, where one lender turns off, you've still got a bunch of other lenders that are still originating. So, excuse me. With that setup, I just wanted to show, a little bit about what is Even. So I think the easiest way to conceptualize it is if you think about Credit Karma. Even is sort of a B2B version of Credit Karma. So, if you are one of these, what we call, channel partners or supply partners, right? And you want to have these partnerships with financial institutions. Maybe you want to offer personal loans, you want to offer insurance, you want to offer student loan refinancing, or even credit cards. You've got to go and do all of these one-off partnerships. I think with the problem that Even is trying to solve in this space is to provide this single point API that any consumer touch point can connect with that would then give you access to every one of these financial institutions. So we have dozens of partnerships with credit card issuers, all the personal loan lenders, the student loan refinancing lenders, so that we've integrated with all their APIs so that you don't have to. And then rather than going and doing these one-off partnerships with each of them, you can partner once with Even, integrate it right into your user experience, and then instantly have access to every single one of those lender APIs. So this is a great example. We've got, we started off in the personal loans vertical. We have a couple dozen partnerships there with all the major personal loan lenders. And then we've expanded into credit cards. We just made an acquisition into life insurance, student loan refinancing, and high yield savings. So, I think this is sort of a good visualization of sort of how this can benefit you in the same way it benefited SoFi, where when there's customers that aren't in your strike zone, what do you do with them, right? And I think it's this existential question for a lot of banks and a lot of any kind of consumer application where you don't really want to hand your customer off to someone else. But what we are seeing is that the reason customers are going to places like Credit Karma, and the reason that the financial institutions are getting disintermediated by the Credit Karmas of the world, is because that's what consumers want. They want access to everything from one place. And if you can't give it to them yourself because you don't want to underwrite them, you've got to at least make it available to them. And so that's what we're seeing as the winning strategy here is if you service them, even if they don't end up, the product they take out is not offered by you directly, but if you're helping them get to that product, they will come back to you in the future as their starting point. And that's what we're seeing as sort of the winning strategy. That's why people are going to Credit Karma. That's why we think, offering this, as part of your front end, even if you don't offer the product on your back end, is a smart move. So let's see. Let me quickly skip over here to a quick demo. So this is something that actually SoFi built on top of our platform, and the reason it's called Lantern is they decided to do it under a different brand because they knew these were going to be different customer types. So, oops, shoot. Here, let me 1 second. Problem with live demos. So they knew this was going to be different customer types, and so they wanted to have a different brand that sort of shows some of the flexibility of the platform to be able to do it under your own brand, do it under a different brand. It can be white labeled, so I'm going through this step-by-step application, which what we found is, while you can do a single page application, the step-by-step ends up actually getting much higher conversion. I'm sure people have done A/B tests on this. They've seen similar things. So then when they click on Get My Offers, what that's doing is it's hitting our API, and then it is pulling from each of these lenders' APIs to provide personalized real-time offers to that individual. So that's the benefit of being able to use a single entry point like us to build this and get these pre-qualified offers. So I think I'm out of time. Wanted to see if there's any questions.
Thank you so much. So for the first question that we got from the audience, what's the process to integrate with your platform, both for financial institutions and for channel partners?
Yeah, great question. So financial institutions, I mean, we've integrated with so many. We have, very, very clear, easy documentations actually on our website, but happy to provide it if you get in touch with us. In terms of channel partners, there's 3 different ways to integrate. One is a very simple link out. Would literally be less than 24 hours, put a link on your, on your page, wherever the right entry point is, and can link right out to our experience. Can do some very easy co-branding that we host. On the other end is a full API integration. You can do all the user experience yourself, and we have a robust set of API endpoints that you can link into to pass us any data. So to pre-fill any applications, you can skip that entire step I just went through where the user doesn't even have to fill out the application. You can just pass us all that data in the background if you have it with the user's consent. And then we can pass back those offers, and you can display those offers in any way you want. And our recommendation engine will help you score those offers in terms of likelihood that the consumer would end up taking one of them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Looks like we're out of time, unfortunately. If there's any more questions, feel free to reach out after the webinar.